Yo guys, I hopped on standard real quick to test out a potential league starter for 316 Scourge League. The basic idea is built around Corrupting Fever, and we're gonna spell sling Exsanguinate as well, and then we're gonna use Kinetic Blast as a proc skill. So when we right click, we're going to be shooting Kinetic Blast, which can hit twice with the projectile, or well, once from the projectile and then once from the AoE. And then Exsanguinate itself will also hit once. So that's 3 hits per right click for Corrupting Fever. I have a lot of jank gear. I'm just on standard right now, just like fucking around. Let's run a map. T16 Iceberg, I guess. Put Einhar or something. And I'm using an Impressence because I didn't want to go buy a Curse on Hit ring. So this amulet is really fucking bad. You would obviously just use a Vuln on Hit Vermilion or something. So I'm running this with Vulnerability as an aura. So whatever. I do have 6k life and 1200 ES with like absolutely awful gear. Like some of my gear doesn't even have 6 mods on it. So yeah, let's run a map. Let's see how it works. When I start a map, I'm going to press Corrupting Fever, which is going to cost basically all my life. And then I'm just going to use Forbidden Taste, and I have like a ton of Chaos Res. So all my life, and then I'm going to use this. Now I'm back at full, right? So we're chilling. And then I just right click and everything is going to die to Corrupting Fever, hopefully. It might look like Kinetic Blast is killing shit, but it's really not. It's just the Corrupting Fever that's being applied. I have like no on-hit damage. So, yeah. I'm running a GMP on the KB, merely just to hit as many targets as possible. And then Exsanguinate, I don't have Chain, but Chain would probably be better than a Damage Link. But the reason I have a Damage Link on Exsanguinate is because the single target is so bad on this build that I was trying to fix it up a bit by having more damage. You'll see if we look at our block tab, we're like max block, 78, 67 pretty much. And then we are Raider / Gladiator as well. So we have some dodge, which I know we won't have in 316. That will be like spell suppression instead. And then we have permanent phasing and permanent onslaughts just from our tree. Alright, so here's the single target. Oh, I forgot to Poacher's Mark. Okay, so Poacher's Mark and then right click. And then hope shit dies, I guess. Yeah, so here's the single target. I'd rather not talk about it, but it's pretty bad. Well, first map I completed on standard. It's pretty bad. If I had better gear, there's ways to fix it. Or if I had a 6-link, I guess. But it's a league starter. I'm not trying to like kill Uber Elder day 1 with this build. It's just really tanky. Let's go back to the hideout and talk about it. Okay, so first you're probably like, oh, what tendency are you? So I went for, and on Scourge, it's going to be the same. Gladiator on Scourge won't have spell block, but it has increased max block of 5%. And then we still get blind, and then instead of 25% more, it's going to be 20% more. So we lose 5% more damage, which is a lot. So Gladiator node will be worse than this. Especially since blind is like piss useless now. And then Raider, you'll still have movement speed, but instead of dodge, you'll get spell suppression. And then we should still get permanent phasing and permanent frenzy charges, as well as frenzy charge generation. So this is currently giving me blind, more multiplier, extra max block, spell suppression, movement speed, onslaught phasing, which is really good. And we get the optimal start of Scion for all these fizz damage nodes. And we get a fuckload of regen. Well, not a fuckload, but we have with Stone Golem up 516 life regen. So you'll see, even if I use Forbidden Taste, which is dealing a ton of damage to my health, I out-regen it. So there is absolutely no downside to Forbidden Taste, right? Because we simply get the 100% life on use. You get a full health bar, and then with my Chaos Res and my regen, like, I take no damage, right? So this is the best class to use in the whole game for this build. But you do have to get a lot of Chaos Res. I'm using like Fugitive Boots with Chaos Res implicit. Chaos Res here. Chaos Res on my chest. Chaos Res on this, so some Chaos Res on this. Amethyst rings were buffed, so you could just use an Amethyst ring. This Queen's Hunger, I've been experimenting with it. I think it's really underrated. Every 5 seconds, if there's a corpse nearby, you trigger Bone, Flesh, or Spirit Offering. So it's not good for bossing because there's no corpses unless you want to use Desecrate Weapon Swap. Which, again, I haven't been maxed the playstyle, so like you definitely could do a... like say this was Desecrate. Put Desecrate in there, swap, cast Desecrate, swap back. And then you could trigger these. If we look at what the offerings give... Well, okay. First, talk about Necromancer. This gives you your offering skills also affect you, but it also has 50% reduced effect of those offerings. This chest piece, it's 100% effect. So if we look at Bone Offering right here, we're going to get 35 block and 34 spell block, and then we won't have life on block in the next patch, but that isn't cut in half. We get the full block. And then for Spirit Offering, we get like 30 Chaos Res, which we're already almost max, so it's not that much. But then we also get Fizz's Extra Chaos, which is a lot of damage, right? Because Corrupting Fever has... Well, actually, I'm not sure, because we have Brutality. Supported skills deal no chaos damage. Okay, yeah, so Spirit Offering isn't giving us any damage. I thought maybe it would, but we're running Brutality, so... which means we can't do chaos damage. So we're just getting a ton of res here, which is whatever. Flesh Offering, this gives us attack speed, cast speed, and movement speed. So in reality, I guess only... They're all sort of useful, but we want Bone Offering as often as we can, but we don't get to choose, so... I thought this chest was kind of fun to use because you can get block and chaos res on it, but yeah, a rare chest with like extra curse is probably better. Well, it's definitely better, but I thought this was fun to use. I mean, yeah, I don't have like any special gear. Again, this amulet you would want to be something else, so that is the build. I might league start this as a Bloodslinger, which is like Reap and Exsanguinate, and then just swap into Corrupting Fever when I have a 6-link or something, or whenever I feel bored of spell slinging. So the trees, no cluster rules, by the way, because I fucking hate when league starters have like 2 large clusters and 4 medium clusters. It's like there's no fucking way you're gonna have that unless you're like going for it, I guess. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I like life regen and shit, and stone golem and whatnot. I think the build's fine. It's really tanky. We're gonna have max block, max chaos res. Gonna have some dodge and spell suppression. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll release other videos as I think of other builds, but this is just one build I was thinking of. All right, bye guys.